We saw the market tick higher, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that Saudi Arabia is saying that they're willing to cut from your current level. So right now you're at 9.9, and you're going to go to 9.7. Why are you willing to cut more?
Because the market requires it, because there will be additional stocking in the first quarter, and we thought that the best thing to do is to preemptively lower our production to make sure that we could deal with the stocking as we go on to the end of 2020.
But isn't it just creating more room for the cheaters potentially to not comply with their quotas? We've seen a lot of countries like Iraq, like Nigeria, like Russia not comply.
No, that's why, I was asked a few minutes ago in the press conference about why it took you so long time last night. And it's exactly, I was as transparent as you probably know me. I went thorough about that. We spent a good chunk of the time reviewing what we need in terms of getting the sufficient assurances that those who had not complied fully would be complying, because otherwise it would not have given us any credence to look at any additional measures. Once we satisfied that fully, and as you have seen, all of these ministers, be it the Iraqi minister, the Nigerian, and to a less extent, really less extent, the Russian. And by the way, I owe to him that whenever they need to do something a little bit less than what they should, they inform us and they give us the justification, and we accept their justification. So I would honestly not like to put them in the same rank and file. But back to the original question, once we satisfied all of that, we went on to discussing what we need to do, be it the size, and be it, more important, how we can distribute the weights. It just so happened that I've been taught pro rata and auditing and accounting by good people at our university at KFUPM, and I spent some time working with some bankers down in New York, so my math is correct. And how can we work in dividing these things? It's not going to be a science. It's science, art, and sensibility.
But what if they don't uphold their side of the bargain? Is the kingdom ready to go back to, say, the 2014 mentality of pump at will?
No, I don't think you will see any sensible Saudi energy minister would utter that word at all. It was not uttered even in 2004. I ought to hold that for my predecessors. However, we're flipping the page. As I moved out of the conference room, I did say this time it's going to be different. This is the kind of belief that I have. This is the kind of common belief and collective belief that we had last night and this morning and this afternoon. And I would like to carry on with that spirit that and we have also our means of checking and verifying and validating these numbers. Once we see these performances are not met, we have also means of reaching out to each other and communicating. But to say that with what I have in my shoulders in terms of responsibility, I wouldn't take any kind of proactive measures without consulting with everybody. After all, if somebody goes astray, and certainly I would hope not this time around, I would have to be at least respectful to the others who have conducted themselves in the most appropriate way.